little cold and damp out there, but it's really cozy in here, and a great response. Thank you so much, Irish organizations here in Rhode Island. I reached out to a number of organizations, and I think all but one organization wasn't able to make it here tonight, so thank you so much for taking time to come out. And also our attendees here, part of the audience, which we would like to, at the end we will do questions, and so listen, and if you have some questions at the end, we'll be able to they'll be able to give you more information. Tonight is in memory of Mary Lee Poddington. How many people here knew Mary Lee? Mary Lee Poddington, if you didn't know her, she was a singer, songwriter, and performer. And she loved all things Irish, especially music. She was a founding member of the Pendragon Band, and she was a driving force behind the creation of the Blackstone River Theater. She collaborated with Kevin Doyle's show Roscommon Souls, and also the Pipes of Calling that was held in March at the PPAC. A few years back, this is how this panel discussion started, was with Mary Lee. We did it on entertainment. We had Irish dancers here, Kevin Doyle and Maureen, Mary Lee. We had some set dance teachers here. We had a great night. Last year, we brought it back again, and we did Irish St. Patrick's Day parades. Again, we had a full panel for that. And this year, Irish organizations. So tonight, this is for Mary Lee. She was also Santa's sister here at the Ceilidhe Club at Christmas time. She entertained all of our children, and they just loved her. She sat and she would read them stories, especially the night before Christmas, and then all of a sudden the doors would open up over there and Santa arrived with bells ringing, and the kids just jumped and they were smiling. And it was always so much fun. So we really, truly miss her. I'm waiting for Michael, is right here.
Welcome everybody. This is part of our 1916 lecture committee series. We have it every month, and we're glad that you're all here tonight. I'm not going to get too deep into the 1916 committee because obviously you're going to hear it tonight. But welcome everybody. This is going to be a very informal event, so relax and hope you'll enjoy the show. Oh, and one thing, we have a donation barrel box in the back, jug, and basically feel free to donate whatever you feel like. The proceeds will go to the band, pay for the band that's downstairs after that we can enjoy. So thanks again, and hope you guys enjoy this.
We were waiting on Patrick Harrington. He's the president of the Ceilidhe Club, and Heather Pearson, who's the vice president. Heather is here. They were those working hard downstairs. Patrick wanted to say a couple of words, but we'll wait till he gets upstairs here. All right, so tonight we have the 1916 committee, Mike Cannon, committee member, Islands 32 Society, Jerry Carroll, vice president, the Irish Rhode Island Family Memorial Committee, Claire Barrett, secretary, Irish Ceilidhe Club of Rhode Island, Heather Pearson, vice president. Patrick will be on his way. Patrick doesn't stay still very long, so once he gets up here, he'll be here for like 5 seconds, and he'll be running downstairs again. And Maureen Murphy, trustee. Ladies AOH of Providence, Maureen Benz, president, and Mary Scannell is joining her tonight as the treasurer. The Ladies AOH of Newport, Catherine Brady, president. Anita Conroy, vice president. Conroy, correct?
Conway.
Conway. When I said it, I knew I did it wrong. The Westerly Coastal Group, Melita Motherway, president.
Irish Coastal Club.
Irish Coastal. You're right? We also have Northern Aid with Mavis McGettrick, committee member, lifetime committee member. And am I missing any? Oh, we also have the Irish
Museum of Newport Irish History.
Because I always say that wrong too.
I know.
So thank you for saying this. And we have Deanna Conheeney from Newport Herald. Did I miss anyone? My name is Kathy Greenwell. I belong to most of these committees here. But tonight I'm wearing the hat of the 1916 committee. I'm a former Ceilidhe Club president, presently a trustee. I'm also on the Irish Family Committee as the treasurer. But I do belong to the 32 Society and the Ladies AOH also. But not as active in everything. So what I did is I sent out an email to the organizations, and I also sent out some questions as a guide. So we're just going to throw some questions out. We're going to move it around. Since we have so many organizations, we'll be brief with every question. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with Deanna. So the first question, please provide a brief history of your organization.
It's a brief.
And there's a combination of 3 parts to this. When was your organization started? Who were some of the founding members? And what is the mission statement of your organization? Deanna?
Okay, so we were founded in 1996, I do need my glasses, by our fearless leader at the time, Vincent Arnold, who had seen is this on? Who had seen that he was not from Newport, he was of Irish descendants, and he worked in Newport and decided that there really wasn't enough attention being paid to the Irish and the contribution of the Irish in the Newport community. So he started a museum with a couple other people in 1996. We had 10 founding board members at the time who were from various families who had been brought up and born in Newport. Our mission is to tell the story of the Irish immigrants and their descendants in Newport County and the surrounding area from the colonial era to the present, and to seek to preserve artifacts and mementos relating to their experiences and facilitate research on Irish history and heritage.
Okay, now we'll go to the Ladies AOH of Providence.
Oh, that's a long way away. Sure you want to go all the way? Go, Eileen.
Keep you on your toes tonight.
Don't steal my points, Maureen.
Get your stuff to the, yeah, it's some TV show that somebody
Start
runs
scratching
around
everything
with.
off.
Good evening. The LAOH was actually, was started in 1894. Our Division 12 was started in 1993 by Mary Bradley McHenry, who was the past national president, and she was a national organizer and started the organization, revised the division. Founding members, which is funny, our charter has non-Irish names as the top four positions. And our mission statement is practice friendship, unity, and Christian charity to strengthen the Roman Catholic faith, country, community, and religion, history, and culture of Irish heritage.
Thank you. We'll make this easy for Eileen. We'll go to the Family Committee.
Okay.
To Claire.
Good evening. The Rhode Island Irish Famine Memorial Committee was established in May of 1997. Its sole purpose was and remains to create a permanent monument to commemorate the 2.5 million victims and survivors of Ireland's Great Famine of 1845 to 1851. Every major Irish American organization in Rhode Island at that time helped to found the Famine Memorial Committee after raising the $1 million, half in cash and the rest in in-kind contributions. The Famine Memorial was dedicated on November 17, 2007. Since then, a 1916 Easter Rising monument was created and dedicated at the memorial site on April 24, 2016. In May 2023, the 1916 Memorial Committee, a separate organization, commissioned and erected a 1981 Irish Hunger Strike monument at the Famine Memorial locale. Some of the founding members of the Famine Memorial Committee were Raymond J. McKenna, former president, and Sue McKenna, Roland and Pauline Grant, Claire Barrett, Kathy Miller, Ann Burns, Donald Degnan, Dr. Scott Malloy, Thomas Gill, John O'Gara, Michael Doran, and Richard Purdy.
Thank you, Claire.
Oh, excuse me.
Ceilidhe Club.
Well, I think a lot of you are familiar with the Ceilidhe Club at this point, but there was a group of Irish immigrants that had come over and decided in 1954 that they'd like to have a social, a club to get together. And then they were actually incorporated in 1956, finally. And in 1961, Mel Lynch, who was one of the founding members, mortgaged his house to buy this building. So yes, that was a dedicated group back in the day. They were determined, to find a place to be together. And some of the other founding members, Peg Flynn, who still is alive, Mel Lynch, who was also with us. Some of the ones that have passed is, we had the Igo family, Jimmy Lawless, Felix Gill, and I think some of you, if you've been around, you know a lot of those names. So they started this for us, and we tried to, respect and be here with them today. And Heather is going to read our mission statement.
So the mission of the Ceilidhe Club here, chief objectives of the club are to promote and preserve the Irish culture and the social entertainment for its members, basically, and preserve the Irish culture.
Irish Coastal Club.
So the Irish Coastal Club was founded in 2008. A couple of expats two met in the grocery store, recognized each other's accents, and one of them said to the other, "You have the map of Ireland on your face. Where are you from?" And they started chatting, and so our founding members, Eileen Brogel, that was Eileen Brogel saying that to Ida Motherway Kulbanis, and she said, you should talk to Ali Brady. We should get a club going, and you should talk to Ali Brady, another expat. And this small group started in a pub, and I was, Ida's my cousin, and so I was kind of early in there, and the discussion was amazing. It was going to be rugby leagues and dance classes and language and great ideas. And it started kind of like that, a little haphazardly, but pretty much started coming around to an organization in the first year, about 15 to 18 members, and then up to about 30. And then about from 2012, I wrote some numbers down, 2010 to 2022, it stayed kind of flat at about 30, mid-30s to 40. But then in the last 2 years, we have almost doubled in size. Wow. So we're kind of a new club, it feels like, now. So our founding members, the Brogels, Ali Brady, and Ida Motherway, and our mission statement. So our mission on paper is to promote an appreciation for all things Irish. To that end, we offer free lectures, musical performances, dance. We have free Irish language lessons. We have 2 teachers in the club who give free lessons twice a month. They have both embedded and lived, in Ireland, and it's wonderful. It's amazing. We also do an Irish Film Festival in concert with the United Theatre. I have a bunch of stuff here about that, which has helped us bring in new members. But we picked small Irish films, and we have amongst our ranks Irish authors, Irish musicians, artists, so many skills within the group, so we try to promote those to, within the membership and to the public. So, we also have a scholarship program. We gave out 5 scholarships last year to high schoolers. have them write something about Ireland. It's not that generic, it's a little specific, but that's it.
Thank you. So, Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, West Warwick with Colleen.
She's avoiding you.
Come on, Eileen.
So our organization was started in 1895, and some of the founding members were just local politicians who included Patrick H. Quinn, who was governor of Rhode Island later on. And the organization didn't start its parade into the 60s, but the other night we had our 131st annual banquet. So Mike kind of threw me under the bus here, so I don't really know what our mission statement is. But my family's been involved since the beginning, so like 1895 generations. My son is now the secretary, and he is 5th generation. So we try, we're small. We've luckily expanded, because for a while there was me, Michael Connell, Pat Lenahan, and my son. But we brought in some young kids that are, taking over the offices, trying their best. They need a little guidance, but we're trying. We're hanging in there.
Eileen, you mentioned the parade.
I did.
Okay.
I said it wasn't started to the 60s.
So I have a little bit of history with the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick and the parade. So my father had joined that group when I was in the 1st grade and going to school at St. Peter Paul in West Warwick, and was part of that parade for many years. I think they put me on the back of a convertible when I was probably 5, and I was Miss Connie Monahan because my mother was from Monahan, and Manny Diamante was my driver, and they had a lot of fun. But also, and then later years in high school, my friend Norman Carrigan they always have a Miss Ireland, and in the parade they have a float, and my best friend at the time in high school, Noreen, was crowned Miss Ireland. It was a big deal. We went to the State House.
She was 77, you were 78.
So then she crowned me. And she was supposed to be here tonight and bring her crown, as she did last year, but she stood me up. So, but anyways, great. In the O'Connell family also, for many years, Peg and Richard O'Connell, with all of their children in the parade and the family, and it was Irish Step Dancing, the Mary Binkiel Irish Step Dance School. They were all dancing with her. We're always in the parade. So a lot of good memories.
Now they have Kelly School of Irish Dance.
Yes. The Kelly School of Irish Dance. Megan Kelly is one of her. She runs some school out of the Ceilidhe Club also, and she teaches. So if anyone has, you can jump in. This is a panel discussion, but also with the audience. If you have a story about any of these organizations or anything, jump in and please provide some details. It would be fun. Okay, ladies AOH Newport.
I was beginning to think I would have nothing to say by the end of this. Piggyback off of what my good friend Maureen Ben said down there, nationally the LAOH ladies were started in 1894, but we weren't the Lady Hibernians. We were the ladies auxiliary to the AOH.
Where? Power?
You just have to hold it.
Hello? I apologize. We were the ladies auxiliary to the Ancient Order of Hibernians, so we were sort of umbrellaed under the men. It wasn't until 1984 that we became our own separate organization. So Maureen shared with you that in 1894, nationally, we became an organization. Our division in Newport became a division in 1900. So we celebrated our 125th anniversary as a division last year, which we're very proud about, yes. Some of our founding members, they're no longer with us, but we have Mrs. James Sullivan, Mrs. Josephine Donovan, Julia Shea, Delia Letty, and Mary Roach. Maureen shared with you the mission statement already. So, Anita, anything else to add, Bill? No?
So how many people here have been to the Newport Parade or marched in the Newport Parade?
Never been there.
It's a lot of fun. Up until the Ceilidhe Club got really busy, St. Pat's weekends, and we do a lot on the weekends. We would always stay the whole weekend, my family. So the woman who crowned me, she had time sharing, and she would just take a whole wing and book it, and we all stayed. It was so much fun. We stayed from Thursday through Sunday, and we did make mass. If you haven't been to that parade and the West Warwick Parade, you really should go. It's great. Both parades are great. Providence Parade also, Westerly Parade, Mystic Parade. Okay. And Pawtucket is tomorrow also. Okay, 32 Society with Jerry.
Good evening, everybody. So, Ireland's 32 Society was started on January 17th, 1967. We'll be celebrating our 60th year next year. Where's this secret power button? There it is. I'm just going to see if there's a light shining below me. So, so Ireland's 32 Society was started at the Blarney Stone on Dexter Street in Pawtucket, which some of you may be familiar with. That was my father, Jim Carroll, and Leo Madden's establishment. And what that all started, kind of bleeds into the mission statement, was create a place for a fraternity to just continue Irish heritage for Irish Americans, and also to support the Irish that were migrating to America at the time. So it really was generating funds. Many organizations here, Irish Northern Aid being one of them, I know for sure, were supported. They held their meetings there, a lot of fundraisers. I was just a twinkle in my parents' eyes then, so I can't tell any stories, but I know that there were some many good times there, and they were a big supporter of many of the causes for the Irish, the greater Irish community. For founding members, I did find some good artifacts. It was Edwin Carty, Jeremiah Keane, Leo Patrick and Eamon Madden, Jeremiah Deneen, who was my uncle, Tom Ward, and my father, Jim Carroll. So in addition to just not only celebrating our heritage, similarly we do a scholarship every year, which is really our mission statement, is continuing education, whether or not be for Irish history, which is very important, but also for the education of the youth. Next.
Mavis, Northern Aid.
You fumbled. Okay.
Irish Northern Aid. I turned it off. Okay.
Joe Davis.
Irish, why can't I?
Irish. Press it again. It's channel 2.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Irish Northern Aid is a national organization, and the Rhode Island unit was formed in 1980 in response to the political situation in Ireland, with a basic idea of supporting the families of the political prisoners who were being held in Ireland. So it was a bunch of us who kind of got together in late 1980. There was a hunger strike going on at that time. Eventually, we became the Rhode Island unit of Irish Northern Aid. Our mission statement is to support a united 32-county Ireland through education, lobbying, and providing emotional and financial support to the families of political prisoners. And our founding members, once I started thinking, my mind just kind of went, so I have a lot. We have Tom Kelly, I'm sure a lot of you remember Tom. Professor Al McAloon, Bill and Alice Hearn, Bessie Cabral, Jim McGettrick, Pete and Bridie Harris, the whole Doyle family, Joe Young, Charlie Ryan, Maureen and Bob Murphy, Father John McNulty, and Bill and Marge Noonan.
1916 committee with Michael.
Right, so can you hear me? Yeah. All right, so you have to hold it a certain way?
Well, let me help you, Mike. I was good at it.
This is coming down.
Keep it away from her.
I think you have to hold the button.
I'm not holding the button, that's everybody's turning it off. Anyway, so our organization, the 1916 committee, hasn't been around quite as long as all these other committees, but I see it as an important group. We started in the fall of 2014, and a group of us met at the Social Club, which is Frank McCabe's place. And actually, it's a group of us from Irish Northern Aid that were our founding members to get this ball rolling. So they were Jim McGettrick, Mavis McGettrick, Bob McManus, George Doyle, myself, Mary Beth Lynch, Tom Kelly, and Frank McCabe. So basically what we did is we wanted to raise awareness for the upcoming 100th anniversary of the Irish uprising, which happened on April 24th, 1916. So in preparation of that, we banged heads together and we were trying to say, well, let's try and reach out to as many organizations as we can, and maybe they can send 2 representatives to a meeting, and then we can discuss what we want to do and kind of expand our horizons. So what we ended up doing was we sent emails, certain people had contacts, to the Ireland's 32 Society, Ceilidhe Club, the Famine Committee, the Newport AOH, the Ladies AOH in Providence, the Ladies AOH in Newport, of course Irish Northern Aid, Irish Coastal Club, Providence Parade Committee, and Pawtucket Parade Committee, and Patrick's Pub. So we sent that out. That became a big success, and I guess you'd say our founding members would be those people that came to this meeting that we had at Patrick's Pub for our first event. As far as our mission statement, we don't have really a formal mission statement, but our main goal and objectives were to educate as many people as we could about Irish history, Irish culture, anything that had to do with Irish, in a sense. That's why we've had a lot of, Ceilidhe Club has been very kind to the 1916 committee. We've had monthly series meetings, lectures here, the first Friday of every month, and they've been very, very well attended. Recently, we had a group, a woman from Derry in the north speak about the Bloody Sunday Trust Committee, which was very interesting. And she was accompanied by Karen Quinn, who is the Sinn Féin rep who works out of Mary Lou McDonald's office in Dublin, and he spoke a little bit about unity. So basically that's our organization as far as our mission statement is just promote culture, history, and that type of thing.
Thank you, Michael. Patrick's here. So Patrick gets the next question. Patrick from
I
the
gotta catch up with the rest of the class.
So Patrick, the question, do you have it in front of you? Number 3. What kind of events and activities does your organization host, and where are they usually held? Which events do you find are most successful? Where do you advertise your events? And how does your organization recruit and coordinate volunteers to assist with
All right, check. All right, let's take this in pieces, I guess. All right. So, what kind of events and activities? So events and activities that we do, we host. Obviously, we host like the 1916 committee the first Friday of the month, and they have their lecture series. We have Irish step dancing classes that are held during the week from the Kelly School. We do concerts from time to time. We just did an Irish comedy show that last Saturday or the Saturday before, which was very successful. So we're trying different things. We bring in some bands. We're always open to suggestions about things. We have a wonderful hall, and we're lucky enough that we have this building. If you don't know, it's just us as the Ceilidhe Club and the Hibernians in Newport that own their own building. So we're lucky enough to have this facility and this beautiful room, and to be able to host things. And thank you all for coming, everybody on the panel and everybody here. It's a great turnout, and we like to keep promoting these things and utilize the building as we have. Every Friday, the pub's open downstairs, and we've kind of added on to the menu and keep that going. We have live music every Friday night, so keep that stuff going. The events I find most successful are the ones that people come to and spend some money. And it comes down to doing things like we did with the comedy show. It was an Irish pseudo priest Irish comedy show, and we had 80 people show up to it, and that's a great thing. It's something different, and that's what we're trying to hit all the points of what's going to be enticing to people to come in, especially in February. You want to get the hell out of the house for this year. Something different, something that's going to bring you in. You can get something to eat, some cheap drinks, and have a good time and have that camaraderie. We advertise more or less through Facebook. We have a new webpage that we just put out, riirishclub.org. .com, sorry. And that we just put that up, and it's going to have all our events listed on that. We send out a monthly newsletter for the members, and we have a calendar of events on that. And we try to, every week we send out Facebook blasts with what's going on downstairs with the menu and the bands and things of that nature. We find that helps a lot. In this day and age, using social media works out very well for us. How does our organization recruit and coordinate volunteers to assist in events? Well, we have a membership now of over 300 people, and I would say our volunteer list is substantially smaller than that. Let's just leave it at that. We have a very, very good core group of people that donate a lot of their time to hosting events and being here to set up, break down, sell tickets, do whatever they can. Yes, it's not over 300 people that are involved in it, but we have a really good core of dedicated people that show up all the time at every event, always gung-ho and always into it. We try to take care of those people the best we can, and they're the backbone of the success of the club. And it's come back to full force, and we're on solid ground as a club, and we're always recruiting new members. It's $50 for a membership, or a yearly membership, and we're like you said, when I first got involved, I think we were around 100, 120, and now we're about 320. Wow. So we've done very well with getting the word out there, making it more appealing, making it welcoming, and not one of those places where you walk into and everybody stops what they're doing and stares at the person coming in. Like, what are you doing in our club? No. Welcome them in, everybody united, and bring people in, and that's what we kind of try to do. Make it fun and make it welcoming to come back. Because the idea is to take as much money as they can and keep the lights on. And that's really what it is.
So, Patrick was going to do an introduction. So, Patrick, that was great. Did your introduction and you answered that question at the same time. Multitasking. Maureen, Heather, do you have anything to add to that? Good.
Only that we're gonna be 70 years old this year. I forgot to mention that earlier, so that's a big milestone for us. And we are planning a lot of activities for for June 27th, so be prepared. We'll be sending out a lot of, news on that and updates, so mark your calendar, because it's sure to be a wonderful day.
Yeah, that's gonna be a full day event. We're gonna have a tent outside, music in the parking lot, music up here, music downstairs, food, beer and food outside and inside, and we're gonna set up some booths out in the parking lot too for vendors and supporters, and have some, really try to go all out. For 70 years is a long time for an organization to keep going and keep getting stronger as we're moving along. Too.
And everyone here is invited.
Yes.
Everyone here is invited.
Tell 100 of your friends.
We'll go to the, with Catherine and Anita, Ladies AOH Newport.
Are we on three? I did it again. No, I did it. Hello? Hello? She broke it. I didn't do it that way. Thank you. We're skipping number 2? We went right past number 2, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, great. I told my VP that she had to do this part, but I just wanted to add a quick section about our biggest events. Piggyback off of Patrick about them being fundraisers. We do a corned beef and cabbage fundraiser every year. If anybody wants to take a look at the flyer that I brought here, but historically the corned beef and cabbage fundraiser that we do supports our Irish step dancing scholarships that we give out every year. Because the fundraiser has been so successful, we've had to go to other endeavors, not just the Irish step dancing scholarship, but we also do I'll let Anita do this because she ran it last year, but we do a golf tournament every summer that goes to our chosen charities, too, at the national and local level. But Miss Social Chair down here can speak more to our various events. Brought her, she drove me, and she's gonna answer most of my questions too.
The price you have to pay. So we do have a lot of social events in our organization. Myself and my co-chair, Kate Mahoney, we get together and we come up with ideas and we post them to the membership and put out sign-up sheets, and if we get enough interest, we run it with it. It can be anything from spending an evening at the Museum of Newport Irish History, to playing mini golf, just going to Newport Vineyard, but they're events to try and get the ladies together. We've also had events where spouses or significant others came. We had, I'm going to test your knowledge of history. Does anybody know the significance of December 5th in history?
Rhode Island?
In the nation. No, it is Repeal Day, the repeal of Prohibition. And we have a friend of ours from Ireland, and she asked us why we were not celebrating December 5th, and Kate and I looked at each other and said, okay, Becky, what's December 5th? She said, should be the biggest drinking day in the US. She said, it's Repeal Day, the repeal of Prohibition. Well, it turned out that in 2025, it was on a Friday. So we went with it. And we had an awesome event. It was Repeal Day. We had it at Buskers, which is an Irish pub. Becky is a rep for Slane Whiskey. She did an Irish whiskey tasting. She also did a history of Irish whiskey and a history of Repeal Day. It was an amazing event. We're going to run with it every year. Unfortunately, December 5th is not always on a Friday, but we'll make it work.
It's Saturday next year.
Yeah. So those are the sort of events that we do, but we also try to tie in fundraising with some of our events, because that's really important to us. I know Catherine mentioned the golf tournament. I ran it last year. We raised over $14,000 And that was clear, $14,000 clear. We had 120 something golfers, 126 I believe. We had a Green Valley Country Club, 18 holes. It was a beautiful day. It was a phenomenal event. And along with our corned beef and cabbage, those are our two major fundraisers. But as far as our social events go, most of them are held on the island, but we're trying to get, because we do have lady Hibernians who don't live on Aquidneck Island, so we're trying to find events that are off Aquidneck Island. Coming here would be something that we'd like to do, and we leave it to the membership to give us ideas. So we're always open to suggestions from other people as well. So if you have any ideas for us, we'd love to. The famine memorial, we're gonna take a trip there. So any ideas, anything that you've done locally that you think that we might be interested in, please let us know, because we really want to start working with other organizations and learn about other organizations and help them as well. So.
Thank you. So Ceilidhe Club, remember Repeal Day?
Yes. Already put it in the calendar.
On the calendar. We'll be celebrating here also. Okay, let's go over to Deanna, Museum of Newport Irish History.
Is it on? Is that good?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, and we're on, what kind of events, right? So we operate an actual museum and interpretive center, in downtown Newport. It's the end of the southern island, part of the island is where, we call the Fifth Ward, where most of the Irish Catholics, lived at one point in time, beginning in 1900. So we have an interpretive center there, and we display artifacts, and we tell the story in four parts: where the Irish worked, where they played, where they prayed, and where they lived, and they entertained. We're open basically May to October, but we have special visitors during the year, and we're always welcome if someone would like to visit to contact us, and we'll open and have somebody there to meet you. A lot of people come in because they're trying to find their roots in Newport, and their Irish roots, so we have some research facilities. So they'll come in and one of our docents will help them. We have about 20 volunteer docents that operate during the year, which is basically the May to October timeframe. In the museum, we had a very exciting year. We introduced an interactive digital display tracing the tides, Irish influences in Newport. And that was funded by the Irish Council in Boston, the Immigrant Support Program. And the current grant we have now is expanding the display to include stories of notable Irish Newporters. So we're taking some local families and trying to trace their roots with photos and oral histories and put them on this interactive display. People come in and they can touch what they want to look at and really research. We also developed an app with 3 annotated tours of Irish Newport. It was an offshoot. We had brochures, paper brochures, but now we've put it on with the QR codes, and people can walk around Newport with their iPhone and hear the tales of certain sites in Newport. In the off season, we sponsor a lecture series. We're completing right now in March our 24th season. We usually have 5 lectures a year. One is usually all Zoom. The rest of them are both either Zoom, we have option of Zoom or in person. And it's a local hotel, and usually about 120, 150 people will attend our lectures. And we think in our season we probably touch about 1,000 people through our lectures, either online or in person.
It's the cheese boards.
Pardon me?
It's the cheese boards.
It's the cheese boards. We also offer tours of the 2 cemeteries in Newport. Bonnie Street, which was the site of the first Irish church, the Catholic Church in Rhode Island, and which we actually maintain through permission from the diocese. And then the St. Mary's cemetery offered tours, and that was the second cemetery, which is, you know, mostly Irish Catholics. Let's see, lectures, cemeteries. We hosted a pop-up with the Irish Consulate from Boston in December, where they came down. The Consul General visited us with their staff, talk about Irish jobs, Irish citizenship opportunities, and visits in Ireland. We have, in March, we're very busy. We have a trolley tour of Irish Newport, which celebrates the immigrants who worked in the mansions. We have Dancing at 40 Steps, which is on the Cliff Walk, with many of the Irish immigrants worked in the mansions, so they come to 40 Steps, the end of one of the streets there, right on the cliff, to dance on their Sunday, a couple of hours off. A lot of courting went on there during the time. Let's see, we have our open house. We reach our members through our electronic newsletters, Facebook, media notices, and through our website. And we do sponsor the Irish Heritage Month. And our members, we have over about 700 memberships. So we probably have in those families about 1,000 members. And they're very, very dedicated to the museum. And our volunteers are basically from our members. We through requests in our newsletters, and they'll show up for Bonnie Street Cemetery cleanup and so forth. So they volunteer at the lectures, check in people.
Thank you. We're gonna go back to Jerry.
Great.
To Society. Ireland. And I'm going to be changing up these questions. The questions were a guide, so if I jump around a little bit, it's just to kind of keep things going. Okay.
Good, you confuse Mike and I very easily. We appreciate it.
That's the plan.
So we also have a golf tournament every September at Triggs, and that's our biggest fundraiser. That is used to sponsor our scholarships. In addition to that, we've started doing trivia night, musical bingo. We were about to start trivia night, and then we had some lovely storms hit our way in February. So those are going to be our rescheduled dates to be determined. Something else that the club used to do were trips to Saratoga. That was before my time, and that's something we're also looking to introduce come August. So that's
It went over very well.
all right. Maybe this is the first one signed up apparently. But we're looking to continue to do something every month. We really are structured between September and June. We take July and August off. So we try to do something once a month to get everyone together. In November, we used to have a memorial mass. Sad to say, we've lost many a member in the last 59 years. So what we've done is, instead of having a formal mass at a church, we have a memorial at Patrick's where we have a PowerPoint presentation with all the deceased members' names being scrolled to Irish music, and we have a toast, and we have a dinner, and we'll have a meeting beforehand, just pretty quickly. It's really just to get together and celebrate the history and the memory of those who we've lost. That goes over very well. Obviously, some tears and some beers, just kind of like the Irish way, if you will. But yeah, it's a fun, very easygoing, laid-back kind of relaxed group, and I would say the golf tournament is the most successful. And I should also mention, importantly, the scholarship is in the name of Leo Madden. Leo was very adamant about giving back to the students and their education. And when Islands 32 originally formed, they really started a foundation in Belfast that ended up getting governmentally funded to provide for 700 scholarships in Belfast back in the 70s. So we're just trying to continue some form of that tradition today. Obviously in smaller numbers compared to the way things were before. But also to recruit, we're just looking at the number of the other questions here. To recruit for some of the committee, it's kind of it's an all hands on deck situation. We've got a golf club committee where everybody's kind of engaged and involved. The trivia nights, the bingo night, or whatever, the musical bingo nights. Some of the same group, okay, we're gonna get together, we're gonna, get something to raffle off, to generate some funds for the group. And we also have a monthly newsletter as well. We'll send it out digitally, we'll send it out in the mail, depending on your preference. And there's a social media page. I'm honestly not on social media, I know that's weird, but there is somebody who manages our social media page, and we keep everybody engaged on there as well.
Thank you, Jerry. We'll go to the Irish Coastal Club with Leah. Good job, Eileen.
Yeah.
She's doing great.
You know, right? Can you hear it? Okay, good. So what was the question? What are our events that we do?
Talk just about your events and what you find successful.
Okay, so events we have had in the past that were successful, and maybe a little bit unusual. So we have a monthly meeting, and we try to incorporate some fun into that meeting, a presentation, music, a game, something. We have so many, again, talented members. We try to bring them in to showcase their skills, and then roll them over to a public event at the library or something where they can do their thing for the public. So the meetings, we try to keep them a little bit entertaining, but we also sponsor lectures and other musical events. We did have a golf tournament as a fundraiser for several years. We did not take in that much money for it. And we decided it cost us what we put in to pull it off, and the number of volunteers it required. Remember, we were only 30, 40 members until recently. So what it took to pull that off was a whole lot of work. And we actually switched to another fundraiser sort of accidentally. We didn't think it would be so successful, but it is as successful, if not more so, is our film festival. Funny story, not funny story, special story. The film festival, the third one, I have flyers up here for anybody who wants them. The third movie is, it's called Bridget, and you all might be interested in, you guys for sure. It sort of fell in our lap from Tony Gahan. Everybody knows him, hopefully. He was playing for our Halfway to St. Pat's event, and he started doing his poetry and telling stories, and he said he was from this town called Ceilidhe. And one of the girls in the audience had read a book about it, about the witches, the last witch of Ireland, which was from that town. And so she went up and talked to him, and he says, sure, that's my town, and my friend has made a film about it. And this was September, and we started thinking, could we get that film for our film festival? And yes, we did. And the director, Ann Williamson, is coming over, and Tony's actually in it, so when you see him, he plays his great-great-grandfather in the film. But she's coming over for 4 days. She's gonna present the film, to show the film, then do Q&A, and we're gonna have a little reception for her. And the club is hosting a little dinner for her and a bunch of events, and she's coming here, St. Pat's. The night of St. Pat's, she wants to see Tony, obviously, so we're gonna be here for his 7 to 9 show, but also beforehand, and so hopefully you can meet her too. It's a real little special treat that sort of fell out of nowhere, very serendipitously, like most of our last year has been. Events that have been successful, surprisingly, because ones you didn't think were successful were oversold and people couldn't fit in the room. Other things I thought would be really great were mezza, so I don't know the key yet. I know we do different PR. We were on Facebook. We got suspended for impersonating a celebrity. I don't know why, but I didn't miss it. I'm not on it, but our Facebook people very much missed it. So we had to swap over to our website and kind of snazz that up. It was kind of just out there, but now it's our main thing. So we're working really hard to make it a little spiffier, and we're still not back on Facebook, and I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But PR-wise, I learned a few lessons. So this is only my first year as the president, and with a double-sized club, I'm learning a lot and very fast. We use Next Door Neighbor. Everybody has, it's like a patch, or it's a small, like a mini Facebook, but local. We use, of course, the local papers, but also Media RI is really good. The classical channel, 95.9, it's probably, that's Mystic, I don't know if it's the same in Westerly. WTNE, the news on 8, a lot of these places you just call and say, we're having this event, you send them a flyer, it's always good to send them a flyer, so then they can pick and choose what they want to say, and they will put it on their Chiron, they'll put it in their newsletter, We have bookstores adding us to their book guide. We do tie-ins as much as we can. With the film festival, we're also, Martin House Books is gonna be selling the Bridget book, so they're putting a little display in their bookstore to tie in Brazen Hen. We're gonna get a drink thing going, but not this year, we couldn't pull it together fast enough to go across the street to Brazen Hen to have a drink discount. But tie-ins like that help. And as far as PR, we hang flyers, so this is kind of a new thing too. We make flyers for everything. We hang them everywhere, and we post them digitally everywhere. And when we make them, I send them out to all the members and tell them, post them. Put them on your social media, put them at your favorite cafe, bring them to, you know, any shops around you and post them. And we seem to be doing well with that. So upcoming events, we have the film festival, we have, this is an Irish language lecture, who'd have thunk, but people are interested in the phonics of Irish names and how you pronounce Irish words. So someone asked us to do a lecture, and two of our guys are gonna do a lecture there. And we have Mary King's Irish in America, you probably have seen it, program. She's very popular, she's coming down. We are hooking up with Aoife Clancy for an event. She has played for us on Halfway to St. Pat. And she's gonna do an event for us again in September, and now we're adding December 5th to our calendar to do something too. So yeah, I'm probably out of time, but I probably forgot.
Well, this all works, and I'm just saying, Mary King will be performing at our 70th anniversary.
Nice, very
again.
nice.
So Mary's a member of the club also. Yeah, that's great. And we're building relationships here tonight. You're coming to see Tony.
Yes.
It's wonderful. Let's go to. I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to come back to the events in that, but let's say Maureen Ceilidhe Club. Do you have a humorous story from the Ceilidhe Club?
Where do I begin? I've been around the club since, gosh, I was young, so I'm thinking back, like I came here with my mom, after my dad passed away. And so that was that generation that I saw. Then there was our generation, like Kathy's and I when our girls were dancing, and now I see all these young people coming in. I was talking to Kathy yesterday, but just the one thing that popped, because like I said, there's a lot, and some things are funny to us, but really not appropriate to mention to the entire family. So
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, but I remember the Halloween parties where Sheila Souza used to run them. And they were big Halloween parties. It was a big event at the club back then. And there was always one or two couples that would come in, and nobody knew who they were, and they never said a word the entire night. They just wanted to wait till all the prizes were given, and then they kind of unmasked themselves, and there was always such a big surprise. I know Dennis and Liz Hughes was one of the couples one time, and it was just really a fun thing, like, because everybody would buzz, like, who do you think it is? Who do you think it is? And so I mean, that's one of the things I remember from like years gone by. But I mean, we've always had a lot of fun. I mean, Corky and I were chant dancing. We will, yeah, different things. But anyway, like I said, we hope to make a lot more stories going forward with, everybody that's here tonight, so.
And I'd add a little bit of story. I would just say, when I became president, and that's going back about 12 years ago now, and the club was transitioning at that time, and we had a lot of ideas, and I just remember one of the first event, someone came up to me and they said, we heard about you, and I said, you did? And they said, so there's no more Irish music, it's just going to be rock and roll. And I was in my mid-40s, late 40s at that point. No, I was older than that, it was my 50s. But so it is kind of funny sometimes. People, have ideas and think they're going to do something. But we do have rock and roll sometimes though too.
I was just going to mention that this past Christmas party for the kids, it was really cute. Santa was here, they were all excited, and it was cute and funny at the same time. One little boy asked Santa for cheese for Christmas, so I don't know, I thought that was really funny. And so did everybody else. Cheese. And my nephew was here, and a couple weeks later, I got a phone call from my sister-in-law, and she said, Ted really wants to know, do you know if that little boy got cheese for Christmas from Santa? That's my fun story. I said, I'm sure he did.
Well, I bet Santa's sister, Mary Lee, she knew, right?
That's right.
Okay, let's go to the ladies AOH of Providence. And that would just be some of your events.
Of the events. Since we're a smaller group, we're smaller than Newport, obviously. Some of the events we had breakfast for fundraising for Freedom for Rhode Island, and we do raffles, gift card raffle. We get a bunch of gift cards and raffle them all. And that's pretty much most of our fundraising.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to change this up a little bit. We're going to go back to activities with some of the groups, but just as a shout out question, you just raise your hand if you'd like to answer this. Would your organization be interested in being part of a Rhode Island State Organization Committee to share resources and to keep updated on local organizations' activities?
Yes. Yes.
Everyone's in agreement with that. So that is an idea that Scott Malloy, everyone knows Scott Malloy. That's an idea he's had, and he approached me probably going back 6 years ago now. We're on the family committee together, also the 1916 committee together also. And he always said, Kathy, you know, we all have all these events, and sometimes they're on the same night, and we all want to go, and then, you know, then the place gets a lesser crowd or whatever, and we should just all be on the same page. We should have a calendar. So maybe we can get that going, and I think Scott would be very happy, and he would want to be involved in that also. Thanks. Okay. Let's go to the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick with activities, events.
Like I said, we have the annual banquet, and we just had our 131st last week. We have a pitch tournament every year, and we just started doing cornhole tournaments, which have been very successful. And most everything that we do goes to paying for the parade. We sometimes don't make enough to pay for the parade, and I have to have a halfway to St. Patrick's Day party to bail the men out. So, but we do, like our banquet, this year at our banquet we had 137 people, and it fluctuates depending on who the Grand Marshal is. We've had as many as 250, and some years we only have 80.
Where do you have it?
At Club Jokes in Coventry, for now. We're looking to find somewhere else.
We have a nice wall right here. Yeah.
They kind of nickel and dime us for.
I know someone here.
Yeah. How many people can you fit here?
With tables and chairs, it goes up. With tables and chairs, about 110.
We can try.
If it's lecture style, no tables, we can fit
I'll bring it up.
up. Michael knows his way here, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to here with the family committee. Activities, events?
Okay, so I'd like to let you know that the Rhode Island Irish Famine Memorial is a very small core group. We're about 7. And we used to really, we've been going almost as a group since 1995, so we're going into 30 years. And so therefore, we are sort of winding down. We will certainly let all the Irish American community organizations know, but we are going to be going into what they call perpetuity, endowment. We have a lot of different ideas, which, you know, we're not set on yet, but naturally we are settled on city property, but we also are looking into other avenues of endowment, a group, etc., you know, for example. But the point being is that we don't have as many activities. We really were very fortunate over the years to have many nice activities. We, you know, hosted 3 groups, you know, on our property, you know, 1916, the hunger strikers, and of course our group, the Famine Memorial. So there were many celebrations that were hosted for fundraising, and so we had them at different, either at McBride's, or we had them at Gilbane's, we had them at Patrick's, for example. There were many others, but those are off the top of my head. So really, stay tuned, but I will tell you there will be a nice event for those who do or don't know, but the the Providence St. Patrick Day Parade will have a group from Athlone coming to partner up with LaSalle Academy, and that will be on Sunday, March 22nd. I believe it's at noon. Dr. Malloy will take some type of a topic. I don't know the topic off the top of my head, but it's going to be of interest to the students. So I'll spread the word to the various groups, but that will be the next event that we'll have there. But other examples of other events was Easter Monday, for instance. Before they go and they have their ritual at Patrick's, they'll have something at the memorial. Just various groups that had celebrations. And I would, for those who have not been to the memorial, I would encourage you to go. It's a beautiful memorial and tribute. It's a big giant wall that you can read, and it's right outside of Capriccio. So we'll have your Italian dinner and then run the streets. I'd encourage you to go. Thank you very much.
And then, we won't do the question about shared resources, but this is an example of the Irish Famine Memorial is an example of shared resource where many of our Irish organizations have had events there or some type of a ceremony. And so, like the Ceilidhe Club, you know, a lot of organizations come here, and the Newport has their building. So one of the questions was, does your organization have a shared resources or coordinate events with other organizations? But I can see from this group and from tonight, I think we're going to expand on that. I definitely think we're going to keep in touch and grow bigger as a shared resource or shared information with the organizations here in the state. Because everyone here is so committed, because when you're in an organization and you're a president, an officer, you work a lot and you have to have passion for what you're doing. It can almost be 24/7 sometimes, so sometimes you really have to step back and take a break because it's demanding, especially if you have a building and a pub and a kitchen and a memorial, you know, and all of that work. So, you know, I really give you a lot of credit, everyone here, for the time and the effort that you put into it. So we're gonna go to Jerry with a funny story, because I have a feeling you have one.
This is going to be a major letdown because I don't. Funny story is I'm vice president of the Irish History. Honestly, I am like the punching bag of Ireland's 32 Society. I have a backpack that's like shaped like a locker so they can throw me in there. I think the funny story for me is going back, and I'm not sure if everybody or anybody knows who Leo Madden was. He was such a great man, God rest his soul. But I remember going to my first meeting, and I walked into the back of Patrick's Pub. Patrick's Pub is where we have all of our events, just trivia, the musical bingo, all that stuff. All of our meetings, every second Sunday from September to June, just an FYI. I walk into the back of Patrick's Pub, and as soon as I walk through the door, out the bathroom comes Leo Madden. And he's just big, burly man, a big smile on his face, and he just gives this freckled dweeb a look right in his eye. He's like, here's our future president. I mean, the sweat going down my back. Like, there's no other pressure, right? That's the funny story that I can share. It's like I said, we're a very laid-back group. We like to have fun. We have a great time. So yeah, come check us out.
Thank you, Jerry.
Anytime.
So we'll go next to Mike Hannon, 1916 committee, any events, activities.
Events and activities.
Got it.
So as you know, most of our events are held here at the Ceilidhe Club, the lecture series and stuff, but I want to bring up the two most important things that we actually raised funds for was the 1916 memorial. We were able to have musicians come out, a guy named Sean Sands, who's Bobby Sands' brother, played here. We went all throughout the state, played up in Cumberland, we played down in Westerly, just to raise money. So for this one specific Easter Rising monument, and actually we raised over $10,000, and we were able to, like Claire was saying, we were able to install it at the Famine Memorial. It is a very beautiful place. I don't know if you've ever gone down there, you know, grab a cup of coffee, sit on the bench. It's beautiful. I know when we were actually, the group was going to disband after doing the night, after we did the 100th anniversary monument, and we decided, you know what, let's stick together and try and raise some funds for a hunger strike memorial. Because at that time it was like I think it was the 43rd anniversary of the hunger strikers. And so we basically set up the same thing. We raised money. I mean, it wasn't crazy money. It was simple people, you know, $5 here, $10 here. Of course, we had a few very good generous donors that you know gave some money too. But we were able to install that right next to the 1916 monument. It looks almost similar, but the plaques read, obviously, it says something different on it. But granite stone from Vermont, beautiful, beautiful, stands probably about shoulder high. And I'd like to thank the Famine Memorial for letting us put that there. And that is one of our goals, to educate people, so when they do go down to the famine site, they look and they say, wow, what's going on? And they read the names on this plaque and they say, who's Patrick Pierce and what did he do? And then, you know, today's society, you go online, you read anything, you know? And so I'm very proud of that, and I can't believe, like, I've been involved in so many different organizations that you see things and you're like, man, how are we gonna do that? But then it happens, and you know, you have these, at Commemoration Day, we had some people, speakers at the Easter Rising Monument. It was really good. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, Mavis couldn't be there. We were actually in Ireland, in Dublin, in front of the GPO, celebrating there, so, tough one for us. Just happened, yeah. You know. But then, so we had a book made here. You're all more than welcome to thumb through it. Everybody that was part of the group, the working group, they donated some photos. They're in here. And then we raised enough funds. Am I taking too long?
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Okay. Sorry. So then we raised funds again. The monument basically cost the same for the hunger strike, to remember the 10 men who died for Ireland. And with the connections that we have in Ireland, we reached out to a friend of ours, Karen Quinn, as I mentioned before, who works out of the office of Mary Lou McDonald, and he said, you know what? He says, I got a great person that you can have as a speaker to dedicate this, and it was Pat Sheehan. I don't know if many of you know who Pat Sheehan is, but he was on 55 days of hunger strike following Karen Doherty, which died after 73 days of hunger strike. So he dedicated that monument, and it was a great day. It was beautiful. Actually, funny story. I don't know if you remember, but there was like the weekend before, there was something going on with fish in the river. Oh, yeah. And these fish were eating everything that was swimming. You know, when you eat everything, it's got to go somewhere. So it was all over the Famine Memorial, and Jimmy and I are down there. We're trying to find parking for people that, you know, when they show up and stuff, we're like, is this ever going to go away? So luckily we had a nice rainstorm the day before. The skies opened up and it was beautiful. That was something, just to see the look on Jim's face. You know, this can't happen. So anyway, just one more thing. So membership, we don't have dues paying members. We don't. We just have a contact list, and I have a 1916 committee email list, which I was fortunate fortunate enough to take over recently. I educate everybody. I would love to grab stuff off the table here and to send it to the 1916 committee email list, just to keep everybody informed and educated of what's going on in Rhode Island. All right, I'll save the other stuff.
I just,
Can I add one thing about the 1916 committee? I'll be quick.
no way.
Mike said we had put a monument up for, oh, sorry. Mike said we had put a monument up for the Easter Rising and also one for the hunger strikers. And we just want to put you on notice. We haven't started the official fundraising yet, but our next monument is going to be for United Ireland. And we want you all to participate in that.
I was thinking of a funny story. So Mike Doran was a longtime Ceilidhe Club member and also a member of the Irish Family Memorial. And Michael would take jugs of water, put it in his car. He lived in Cranston, and he would go down to the memorial and he would water all the flowers. And he did that for a long time because there wasn't water available there. So
No water source.
I just thought of that. Michael passed a year or two, but he was very involved in Ceilidhe Club and in the memorial.
No, you had all these people that were on the committee from different walks of life, including myself, you know, making votes on different things, and you know what? We weren't technologically advanced enough to say, where's the water source? And so this was true. They would, you know, and they can't pipe anything into it. The city does water it for us, but we can't count on that. It gets watered with the rain.
You just go along and you figure it out, right?
That river at that point, it's an estuary, so the water is brackish, salty.
How are you gonna get it out of the river? You're gonna probably go forward and fall in the river.
We're not going to do that. So, Deanna, Museum of Newport Irish History, do you have a funny story for us? Sorry,
We told them on the way up.
I'm just.
What I have to say is recently, our parish priest, he had been to Dublin, and he's Italian, Mark Soriol, and he was in Dublin, and we went into this little Irish museum, and they had a curtain, and the actors came out, and they told some funny stories, and they told the history of Ireland, but with a comical twist to it. So I went up to the directory one day, the office, and he said, "I'd like to see you in my office." And I went, "Oh, I didn't know if I had done something or what, but can I see you in my office?" So I went in, he said he would like to do something like that for the museum. He would like to put on a parody, a comedy show on the history, but he wanted to be respectful. So we thought about it, but he finally put it together, and it was called Blondie, Baloney, and Beyond. And he wrote it. He's just incredible. And he had our choir director, Kyle Medeiros, who's Portuguese, did all the Irish ditties and everything. And it was kind of a Saturday Night Live. It had 3 sets, and we had the grumpy old man, and we had Templar Bar, we had musicians, but he did it. He did the whole thing. We raised, and he gave all money, went to the museum. So it was fun, not funny, but it was a fun night.
They'd probably take it on the road.
He has full intentions of trying to take it on the road.
Thank you. How about the ladies in Newport? Do you have a funny story?
They're all funny.
Well, I was gonna say they're all funny, but lately they've all been making fun of me, but that's okay. I will say I'll do a little personal plug. The men's AOH has had a singing group for a very long time, one that my father was a part of for many years. But recently we started a ladies singing group. It kind of started off as, you don't need to have the talent, just come, we'll have fun, all this stuff. The first 6 ladies that signed up are these beautiful choir singers from a couple of the churches in town, so a lot of people are still intimidated to join it. But of course, my father was a beautiful singer, my mother was a great singer, my sister's been in bands, my brother's a great singer. Catherine, come on, join. You'll be great. Like, you know, just come meet. You kind of be in the background if you're feeling nervous about it. I said, I can't join the singing group. Why can't you join? I said, well, my father, God rest his soul, said I couldn't carry a tune in a backpack, so I'm good. I have other talents, and that's not one of them. But if you ever get a chance to hear the lady singers, they're very good.
Thank you.
I have a Santa story too, but I'll save that for another time.
This is a throw-out question, rather than have everyone have to answer. You can raise your hand if you'd like to answer. Does your organization have any contact with organizations and or groups in Ireland, and how do they relate to events in Ireland today? Maureen was first. Go ahead, Maureen.
The LAOH, through the Freedom for All Ireland, they have a group going over, I think, maybe April, with all the money they raise from like our fundraiser, different donations, they give out grants to different organizations in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So we do go into Ireland, Northern Ireland.
Thank you. And any other group? I'll go right down the line, Michael. And we're running about 9, so I think maybe we'll go 10 more minutes. So, but I want to get all this in, so we'll.
I'll be quick.
Yep, that's good.
All right.
10 seconds.
Right. So, as I was saying before, I just want to expand on it. I know I've mentioned Sinn Féin a lot, but our group is extremely involved with them, and the reason why is because of the topic unity, reunification in Ireland. That's an ongoing thing right now. That's going to happen. Right now, you have the Fianna Fáil government, and they don't want to see it, but it will happen sooner or later. They just need to. Our main goal with this is basically to. I'm sure you're all aware of the Good Friday Agreement. It was passed by the people of Ireland in the north and south, and they're looking to establish another referendum for another vote. So we also had that's our main goal right now, because we don't really have much on the plate as the 1916 committee, but we're working with that. We're educating people on unity. That's another good reason why, if you want to learn more about it, to sign up here at the 1916 email list. And there's one more thing. There's a group called Ireland's Future. Remember that, Ireland's Future. It's on the web, and basically it's an eclectic group of people from all over. I mean, Christy Moore's on it. I watched. There's people from all different parts of Ireland, not just one political party. Matter of fact, the former Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar, he is on it, and he kind of switched, and now he's for unity. So it's a good website to come out to check out when you have some free time this weekend. Ireland's Future. And can I plug one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sorry.
You have to buy everyone a drink down.
Okay, sorry. No, this will be really quick because I laid this out. But so working with other organizations. Please take a pamphlet. I'm not sure if you all heard of the rescue ship called the Catalpa. They went down to Australia to rescue some Irishmen down there. I won't get into it. You can read about that. But we're also selling tickets. They're $20 a ticket. That event is going to happen on April 26th at Patrick's Pub. Everybody's welcome. We're raising funds. The reason why we're raising funds is because there's going to be a plaque in Glasnevin Cemetery. I don't know if anybody's been to Dublin to see Glasnevin. It's actually right around where Michael Collins' grave is, just a little up from there. So, more than welcome. I have tickets. I'm done.
Who is next? Anyone?
Very tenuous.
Melinda, was it?
Yeah, but something he said made me think of something else. The crossover amongst other Irish groups. So, since I'm in Connecticut, physically in Mystic, our club membership goes all the way Cranston, Oakdale, down to Madison, lower coastal. So our membership is spread all over, and we have a lot of members in each of your organizations who cross-pollinate with events. In fact, Marie McGee is taking that flyer for the Catalpa to the United tonight for the Roscommon Souls event that they're hosting, that we're kind of co-hosting or co-partnered with. So the cross-pollination I was thinking of, with the relationships, we head south down to Fairfield University. The Famine Museum is down there, and SHU has an Irish Studies program, Sacred Heart U. So we got looped in somehow to an author talk, and now we're on their list and connected to them, and they have a sister school in Dingle, Ireland. So we are trying to connect with them along the lines of a question. If we don't all get to talk about it, I would like to talk to you all individually about how you get new and younger members, because we have been trying to work through colleges, the Coast Guard Academy, Three Rivers, URI, trying to post up, of course, but also find events they're interested in and get in their schools, like what are your clubs doing, and do you need a club, and would you like us to come talk to your club, that kind of thing. So we did that down south, and hopefully we did a Zoom program on one of the Dingle topics. They have Irish speakers, Irish heritage, Irish history, all kinds of things going on because of their studies program, and we're trying to get in that. So it's a tenuous link, but we're working on it.
Did anyone want to comment on that question also, or Catherine?
Sorry, the sister school comment had me thinking. I'm going on vacation next week to our one of Newport's sister cities is Kinsale, Ireland, and County Cork. Me and 100 and something of my closest friends are headed to Kinsale for the week to celebrate St. Patrick's Day there. We're all marching in their parade and catching up with old friends. We're sister cities because our cities are very similar in the fact that we hold hospitality and tourism in very high regard. So actually, if you've ever been to Kinsale and know anything about it, it looks a lot like Newport. Cobblestone streets and sailboats and all that fun stuff. So not technically any organization connections besides the very important one Maureen mentioned with Freedom for All Ireland, but we do have a very strong connection with Kinsale. We went last year, we're going this year. If I have it my way, I'll go back every year until I can no longer fly. So, and they come here to visit us too and march in our parades, and we have a very strong connection with them, and we hope to keep that going for as long as we possibly can. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary of 20 with them, Newport and Kinsale. So,
thank you. Mavis, do you have a funny story?
I'd rather do my events.
Oh.
Well, we're running out of
Mavis
time.
can do whatever she wants.
Here we go. As you know, I mentioned that our primary cause at the beginning when we were founded was support of the families of the political prisoners. That kind of diminished after the Good Friday Agreement because those prisoners were released. So our group is we're not all that active, but we do have 3 events every single year. We march in the Providence St. Patrick's Day Parade. We'll be there March 21st. You'll see a bunch of people proudly marching behind the England Get Out of Ireland sign. So we make sure that we make that statement in a big parade so everyone knows that it's Ireland is still not free. Our second event is, we've done this every year since 1981, and it's a commemoration of the Easter Uprising. This year, I have a flyer. It will be held on Monday, April 6th. It's at Patrick's Pub, and we're going to have a reading of the Easter Proclamation of 1916. There'll be a poetry reading. One of our members has written a poem. We'll have some stories about events that happened during the Rising, and wonderful rebel music by Finbar Doyle, and a social to follow afterwards. And then every year since 1982, we have a hunger strike commemoration. So that will probably be held in either May or June. It'll be on the 1916 committee email blast. It'll probably be held at the Famine Memorial site because that's where we have our monument. If you haven't been there, that'll be a perfect time for you to not only see the Famine Memorial, but to also pay respect to the 10 men who died in 1981 on hunger strike. And there's plenty of flyers right here.
Colleen, do you have a funny story? If you don't, it's fine.
No, I
I just had a feeling you had.
I have a couple, but one of the ones was when we got some of the younger kids involved, and we decided we were going to take over, we were going to build the new float, the Miss Island float was going to be bigger and better than ever. We got a garage and we built it, and then Sunday when we went to go to be in the parade, it went right out of the garage door. So there we are. Unscrewing everything, making it down to try to get it out of the garage so we can make it, so we can pick up Miss Island and get into the parade.
That wasn't the year I know.
It was recent.
I got on, okay.
Another funny story is a couple of years ago, we had a debacle with a DJ. So I was just happened to mention at work, one of my boss at work had a DJ service, but he has a really good DJ service, like very expensive, and the lights, and if you're a bride, they put the name on the floor, and if you're from another country, they call your in-law, your relatives in another country from your wedding, so you can talk to them and everything, very extravagant, more than we can afford for our banquet. So I asked him, I said, do you know anybody, do you know a disc jockey? You know, a DJ that I need a disc jockey. I need it for a banquet and then after the parade party. And he's like, yeah. So another guy who was a DJ had helped him out, and he says, I'll do it. So I was like, well, he goes, no, I got my own equipment. I said, well, you know, do you have Irish music, Irish songs? Do you want my sister to make you a playlist? Nope, I got this. We get there, and he's dressed like Mr. T. All the chains and all he did was play like rap music. And by the end of the night, he thought my sister Kelly was going to punch him in the face. Michael Connell went up multiple times and asked him, could you please? So I haven't outlived that down. They haven't. Every time they talk, we need a DJ, they're like, you're not getting that guy again, are you?
I'm actually saying this for Don Degnan. He was not able to come tonight. So I brought a lot of his notes. And one of the things that he had said that was a true story, but it was a funny story, was that when we first became incorporated and became a group, we were getting our checkbooks, you know, the checkbook for the treasurer. And actually, whatever they decided, whatever bank, I forget which bank, it doesn't matter what bank it was, but they actually wrote on the checkbook, the Rhode Island Irish Salmon as in Memorial Committee Inc. So what he felt bad about was that he didn't save those checkbooks. But they would be a kind of like, you could raffle them off. Like, but that was from Don himself.
Oh my God.
My sister was telling me the story at a national convention many years ago. She was on a committee, and someone said something, and this woman, the chair of the committee, said, oh, I can beat you. So many years ago, I think it was 1976, the convention was actually held in Ireland. And at the time, they were the ladies' auxiliary. And they went, this woman was in charge of going, introducing themselves to the men's who were in the next room. And she went over, knocked on the door, and they came out and said, we're not ready yet, wait. 15 minutes, she said, knocked on the door, said, we're not ready. So a half an hour passed, and she said, oh, they weren't, so she said, oh, just, so she went back to the meeting, got up on the dais, and proceeded to say, Madam President, I can't get into the men's room. And she's looking around, saying, why is everyone snickering? And she didn't realize.
Thank you, Maureen. We're going to end our questions with Melita with a funny story, and then I do have, it was going to be a question, but this you can talk to Mike after this, but does your membership receive information regarding the monthly 1916 Committee Irish History lectures that are held here at the Ceilidhe Club? What areas of Irish history would be of interest to your membership? And do you have any members who would like to present here to do a lecture? So you can let Michael know that information afterwards if you're interested or whatever. But Melita, if you have a short, a funny story? No? Okay. All right, so we're going to hand this over to Michael. And just wanted to say thank you to everyone. I'm going to part right now and let Michael end. Thank you to all of you out tonight, also the Ceilidhe Club for letting us host this here tonight, all the volunteers, my husband Joe Greenwell for setting up all the tables yesterday when he came in, so it all looks lovely due to him.
Go Joe.
And just a reminder, downstairs in the pub, great Irish music going, great food if you're hungry, because I know I am, and I am ready to have something. Island, the band tickets are on sale after this also. We have them upstairs if you need to get them. We've already sold almost 50. We're only selling 110, just to let you know. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna make this real quick. So I was in New Bedford recently, and I just want to read a couple pages of Moby Dick. It's pretty interesting. No, honestly, I'd like to thank with the 1916 committee. We just want to thank Maureen Benz, Sarah Benz, Eileen Benz for videotaping all our information. We have a YouTube page, so everything is on YouTube if you want to look at past lectures that we had here, guests that we had here, informative stuff. So please check it out. And I just wanted to say thank you because I forgot when I was over there. Thanks very much. Have a good night, everybody.
And also, if you'd like to talk to the individual representatives here, they have some things on the table. There's a table in the back they brought items to. So ask questions, take an application form if they have it. Join every group. That's what I do. It's lots of fun.